My name is Laney Krogh, and I am the author of Fairy Tale, a young adult fantasy novel, and this is Skim Reading by Pegasus Publishers. My current read is Gift from the Sea by Anne Morrow Lindbergh. I am absolutely enjoying it. It's my favorite book. I read it once a year, and it's got so many good life lessons and bits of wisdom from the author. I get something different out of it every time I read it, and I would highly recommend it, especially if you love the beach and the ocean as much as I do. I honestly don't spend as much time reading every day as I should. If I have free time between work and all of the other things I have going on right now, I typically spend it writing or reading my own writing so that I can work on editing. So probably once a month for maybe 30 minutes is how much I actually can read right now, realistically. But I definitely would like to have more free time so that I could read more often. A book I will always recommend is the entire Infernal Devices series by Cassandra Clare. It's my favorite fantasy book series. It's the prequel series to The Mortal Instruments, if you've ever heard of that. There was a movie about it, a TV show about it. So Shadowhunters and that whole world was really what got me into enjoying fantasy and otherworldly books. So I really would recommend that to everybody. I honestly like having ebooks to read better than paperback books, which is funny since I love having physical copies of my own book. But I like being able to highlight and delete highlights and change the font size and the color on my ebooks, and you can't do that with physical books. But nothing beats having your own book as a physical copy, I will say that. I typically stick with over 500-page books. I feel like the story ends too quickly if it's under 200 pages, and I don't want to let go of the characters that quickly. So I will read books that are longer than 500 pages when I do read most of the time. I like to read right before bed. It helps me to decompress from the day and really get ready for, dreams that are full of book characters and book plots and book worlds, which are always much better than dreaming about reality and real world problems. I prefer fiction books over factual books. I prefer romance, specifically rom-com, over drama, because I like to read lighthearted things. And I also prefer new releases over literary classics, which might be controversial, but I like to connect with authors, and I do that through their reading, and I feel like people who are in a stage of their life similar to me and writing from points of views of characters who are in that same perspective, I can always connect to better than somebody from a long time ago or in a Shakespeare story or something like that. So just my preference. Book that I could not finish was Animal Farm. I had to read it in school when I was younger, and I know it was all metaphors, and the meaning of the book it's very well written, it's very good and classic, but just at that age and the place I was at in my reading journey, I did not like it at all. I could not read it, and I definitely did not finish it. So sorry to my teachers from middle school, but I did not actually finish reading Animal Farm. I stopped halfway through. One book I really want to read is Sunrise on the Reaping. I know there's a movie coming out for that book, and I always enjoyed the Hunger Games series when I was younger, so I am very excited to read the spinoff and Haymitch's story when I have time to do so, but that's one I'm really looking forward to reading. The world would be such a sad place if people stopped reading. I always loved reading and writing, especially because it helped me to create worlds and dive into worlds that were better and more fun and magical than the one that I was in. I think it helps people to be creative and use their imagination, which with AI and computers and technology, it's so rare that people actually come up with things on their own anymore. And when you read books, it gives your mind the chance to actually do that and put images in your mind that you might not actually get to do unless you're reading and having a guideline of how to get to that imagination state. I think that reading is great for world education and helps people to become better by the lessons they learn in it. Civilization needs books. It's the way that we learn and teach others and write our stories down and share stories and lessons through generations. And it helps us connect to different times of the world because of the literary classics that I mentioned. Even though it's not my personal favorite, it's still really cool to see what somebody in the 1800s thought of certain things. And you can only really have that connection through books. So I think that reading is essential, and if people stopped reading, that would make me very sad. So I hope nobody ever stops reading and everybody continues to love books and love reading, and that you all love reading Fairy Tale, a young adult fantasy novel published by the amazing Pegasus Publishers. Thank you for joining me for Skim Reading. Bye!